Avs lose to the New Jersey Devils 3-2 on Valentine's Day. This was date number 54 with the Avalanche this season, and boy, they do not put out often, do they? Jeremy Smith was in net tonight for the Avs in his first ever NHL game, so congrats to him. He actually looked pretty good overall, but the Avs let him get peppered with shots, giving up 40. He managed to save 37, so good on him. Playing with the Avalanche defense in front of you, that's got to be tough. Of course, Avs do him no favors at all. He looks a little bit jittery in the first period. It makes sense. It's his first ever NHL game. He's going to be a little bit nervous, right? Well, 2 minutes in, classic Avs fashion, Golubev has the puck on his stick in the defensive zone, shoots a pass over to Mitchell, hops right over his stick, right onto the defenseman's stick. That's bad. Gets walked in and put on net. That's really bad. Avs can't find the rebound at all, and it winds up in the back of the net, and you just go, yeah, I've seen this before. A few minutes later, the Avs look to turn the tide. John Mitchell gets a breakaway, comes in, goes backhand, can't quite lift it over the pad of Schneider. If you look back on it, you really would have liked Mitchell to lift that one a little bit, give it a chance to go in, but he actually did get hooked at the blue line, and after the play, he was wincing pretty badly, so it looked like that may have affected his shot a little bit on that one. The Avs get a power play, and as usual, it completely takes the wind out of their sails. They lose any momentum they might have had, and the rest of the first period kind of just goes down the drain for them. They had maybe one decent scoring chance after the power play, and it just wasn't a pretty period from there. They did manage to keep the Devils from scoring, even though the Devils definitely won the shot and scoring chance battle, though, so at least they go into the first intermission only down by one. I have to keep reminding myself that only down by one isn't a good score line. That's a bad period. I know compared to what the Navs' normal period is, you're kind of feeling good when we're only down by one after the first, but that's not good. We need to be doing better than that. Keep ourselves in games or even leading games early because, well, you all know what happens in the third period. Start of the second period, and Jeremy Smith looks much more calmed down now. Makes a couple big saves early to keep the Avs only down by one, and just seems all around more like he's comfortable and knows what he's doing in net now. A couple minutes in, McKinnon takes a tough penalty. He's trying to play the puck. The guy kind of just steps on his stick and falls over, and he goes off for tripping. A little over a minute into the PK, and New Jersey does something stupid. They take that high sticking penalty 200 feet from their net. You know that feeling of dread you get when the Avs do something really dumb and you know they're going to pay for it? It's kind of nice having the other fan base feel like that, isn't it? Avs get through the 4-on-4 and start the shortened power play. They quickly gain the zone, make a couple nice passes, and then tic-tac-toe, Mark Barberio puts it in the back of the net, and it's 1-1 tie. This is probably one of the prettiest goals for the Avalanche so far this season. Landeskog just makes a great play, he has great vision, and reads Barberio sneaking in on the back door and finds him with a really quick seam pass. Barberio makes no doubt about it, puts it right in the back of the net. Barberio really reminded me of Nick Holden on this play, and I know a couple other you guys were saying that out there. In that exact same way that Holden used to sneak down, that's how he was successful when he was scoring goals. He would sneak down on the side there where nobody would find him, and he'd find some open area and had usually just a wide open shot like that to put in the back of the net. So now we're tied 1-1, and Smith is continuing to play well, but just about 2 minutes later, off a defensive zone face-off for the Avs, the Devils win it right back to the point off a set play. Guy goes right to the front of the net. Shot on. C&I kind of shot. Just finds its way in the back of the net. It was initially ruled a no-goal, but one look at the review, and it was pretty obvious that that was going to be a goal for anyone who, has eyes. The Devils were absolutely shelling the Avs for the rest of the second. They ended up with 18 shots in that period alone. During the last third of the period, the Avs did start to push back a little bit. They were getting some offensive zone time. Unfortunately, a big mistake ended up costing them, as usual. The Avs had the zone in the offensive zone. Nieto has it near the blue line, a little bit in front of it. He ends up fanning on a shot. I'm not even sure if it was a shot. He might have just been trying to dump it in, but he completely whiffs on the puck. Ends up coughing it up. Devils take it, blow right past Mark Barberio, who gets caught on his heels. And all of a sudden, it's a 2-on-1 going down the ice with Cody Golubev back. That's not good, but at least we have Golubev back on the play. Defensemen should know how to handle a 2-on-1, at least limit their options, you would think. But Devils enter the zone. Golubev lets a pass go right through him. Uh-oh. Then Pass back right through Goluboff again, and it's 3-1 Devils. Smith just had absolutely no chance. I know it's not Goluboff's fault that he had to play in a 2-on-1 there, but you really gotta think he can do better than that. I mean, he just looked like Swiss cheese in between the two Devils players there. They were just passing right through him. He didn't even try to get in the passing lane. You gotta at least try to limit the options there and give your goalie a chance to stop the shooter. It's late in the second period and it's 3-1 Devils. About a minute later, maybe 3 minutes left in the period, ping! 41st post of the season for the Avalanche, and at that point you've pretty much resigned yourselves to the Avs having lost this game. As usual, they kind of go out, nothing happening. But Matt Duchene comes in and says, that's not how we're going to do it today. Makes a great individual effort in the corner, steals the puck, hangs onto the puck, and finds Griggs floating in the slot. Bang, back of the net, 3-2, Avs are still in this one. The net was actually mostly wide open for him, but Griggs actually put a really good shot on this one, basically a one-timer right into the top part of the net, which is good to see because he, and the rest of the Avs for that matter, have really been struggling to hit that 4x6 as of late. They just miss so many shots every game, it gets hard to watch at a certain point, so it's good to see that now it looks like they're at least putting them in the open nets. That's the second intermission, and the Avs go in with some momentum for once, which is really unusual. We're used to just giving up goals late in periods and just having no momentum going through the intermission, and then watching an interview of some other team's player as they get a talking to in the locker room. Unfortunately, as far as excitement is concerned, the game pretty much ended at the end of the second period. The third period comes in, and they just do not look like an exciting team. They made the Devils look like the Devils of 10 years ago, who played that smothering shutdown defense that just nobody could score against. And that's not to say the Devils weren't good. They played good, but the Avs made them look like a Stanley Cup championship caliber defense, and the Devils aren't that good, come on. The Avs basically just get almost no offensive zone time throughout the whole period, and basically no scoring chances either. I think their best chance in the period actually ended up coming off a lucky weird bounce off the boards. Came out to Soderberg in front, and Soderberg just couldn't do nothing with it at all, which is something we've seen a lot this season. I really think Soderberg is struggling with the lower caliber of line mates he's playing with. He's definitely a pass-first player and succeeds when he's giving it to people who can finish plays for him. Even with the goalie pulled, the Avs really struggle to get any legitimate chances, and so as usual with the Avs, the game kind of ends with a whimper. One interesting note though, with the goalie pulled, they got a face-off late with just a few seconds left, and the set play actually went back to Mark Barberio for the shot. And that pretty much explains the point that we're at with defensive production right now. That shot could have gone to Zadorov, Boschman, Barry, and it ended up with Barberio because he's the only defenseman producing, and he's a guy we picked up off waivers maybe 2 weeks ago. So that's what it looks like right now. The Avs just can't produce anything from their standard defensive players, and our second best, maybe even best defenseman right now came off waivers. General notes and takeaways from the game. Number one, I think Goluboff has got to be scratched after that one. He just did not look good tonight, and Bednar has set a precedence with kind of scratching the guys he felt didn't look good in previous games. Weirkosh has been sat for 2 games because he looked awful against the Pens in his game, and I think it's time to put him back in over Goluboff because Goluboff really just didn't do anything right tonight. And long term, we know Johnson is with the team now, and he should be coming back soon, maybe by the end of February, maybe not till somewhere in March. But that should hopefully push Goluboff down the lineup over anyone else, and likely end up with Goluboff back in the minors. Unless we make some moves at the trade deadline. Tootin, Weirkosh, maybe even Boschman. If we can move them for dang near anything, we should probably be taking that trade and making space. Even then, I might like to see Goluboff stay down in the minors, because realistically, Goluboff isn't a long-term plan for the Avs. He's just kind of a guy that's filling them in the NHL right now, I guess, but I don't think he has anything to do with the Avs NHL roster next year anyway. And we have, down in the minors, Chris Bigra, who hopefully is a plan for the Avs long-term in the NHL. And I think he could really do with some more time in the NHL near the end of this season. It's not like he's completely green either. He played 30 games for us last year, and he knows what it's like to be on a losing team. We bombed out of the playoffs down the stretch last year with him on the roster, so he, I think, could afford to come up and get more NHL experience and learn to play at an NHL role. Number 2, yes, we did score a power play goal tonight, but that does not make our power play good. The one play was very pretty and looked amazing, but the rest of our power play opportunities in this game just looked like standard as power plays. The reason we scored the goal, and the reason that play looked so good, is because Barberio is moving his feet. When you look at the rest of our power play, we got 5 guys standing around, nobody really moving, nobody trying to get open for the puck. And when you have no one trying to get open for the puck, there's just not a whole lot going on there. People need to want the puck more and make themselves an option to get the puck, and that will open things up on the power play a lot for us, I think. That is the end of this game review. Please let me know what you thought about it, either here on the video or in the Reddit thread. If you liked it, let me know. If you hated it, let me know. If I bored you to death, let me know. But thank you for watching, and the Avs have a back-to-back starting tomorrow.